Welcome to Defense Briefing. The content of the briefing includes 3 Ukrainian soldiers, 2 years of war, how their lives changed, how Israel's war on Gaza is bleeding Egypt's economy, Trump enters South Carolina's Republican primary looking to embarrass Haley in her home state, 2 years of war for Russia has plunged the country ever deeper into darkness. The Russians keep coming, Ukraine on the defensive as war enters third year. 3 Ukrainian soldiers, 2 years of war, how their lives changed. Washington Post. 2 years after the start of the war in Ukraine, 3 Ukrainians who enlisted on the first day tell their stories. Vadim Burii, 44, served with the 58th Motorized Brigade and lost both legs in a missile attack. Burii, now an administrative clerk, has remained deployed in eastern Ukraine despite being unfit for military service. Alexandra Ryazantseva, 40, joined a Territorial Defense Force brigade and has served on the front lines. She shot and killed a Russian soldier and has since been deployed on a reconnaissance mission to the Belarusian border. Taras, 24, volunteered to fight despite not believing there would be war. He now serves with the Bratstvo Battalion, which focuses on sabotage missions against Russian forces. Taras and his comrades pray together before every operation. He has lost dear friends and found it hard to relate to everyday problems and ambitions for a future career. Taras believes that many veterans will struggle to adapt back to civilian life and will be haunted by their combat experiences. How Israel's war on Gaza is bleeding Egypt's economy. Al Jazeera. Egypt's economy, which is already in crisis, is expected to suffer further damage due to Israel's war on Gaza and the escalating tensions in the Red Sea. The country's deteriorating economy is facing challenges such as growing public debt, capital flight, and a falling currency. The war in Gaza and the Red Sea crisis are expected to negatively impact Egypt's tourism sector, which was already struggling to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. The Suez Canal, another major source of foreign exchange for Egypt, has also seen a significant decline in revenue due to Houthi attacks on Israel-linked commercial vessels. Additionally, Egypt's gas economy has suffered as Israel temporarily halted extractions from the Tamar gas field. The war in Gaza has highlighted Egypt's economic dependence on Israel, which is a vulnerability at a time of heightened tension in the region. The influx of displaced Palestinians into Egypt is also a concern for the government, which is constructing a wall to prevent such a scenario. The economic challenges facing Egypt may make it more reluctant to implement economic reforms. Trump enters South Carolina's Republican primary looking to embarrass Haley in her home state. Associated Press. President Donald Trump is hoping to win the South Carolina primary on Saturday, thereby handing a home state embarrassment to Nikki Haley, his last remaining major rival for the Republican nomination. Trump, who has a huge polling lead and the backing of the state's top Republicans, has drawn much larger crowds and campaigned with Governor Henry McMaster, who succeeded Haley, and Senator Tim Scott, who was elevated to the Senate by Haley. Trump's backers, including those who previously supported Haley during her time as governor, seem confident that he will have a solid victory on Saturday. 2 years of war for Russia has plunged the country ever deeper into darkness. CNN. The article discusses Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and the consequences of this military action. The author reflects on their initial disbelief at the invasion and the miscalculations made by many observers at the time. The invasion has resulted in a devastating war with hundreds of thousands of casualties on both sides. Russia's military has been shown to be unprepared and vulnerable, and the country has faced international condemnation and sanctions. The author also highlights the suppression of dissent and the tightening of Putin's grip on power in Russia. They conclude that a change in course is unlikely in the near future. The Russians keep coming, Ukraine on the defensive as war enters third year. South China Morning Post. Russia's invasion of Ukraine 2 years ago has left the country weakened, while Russia has been emboldened by recent gains. Ukraine is facing setbacks due to a lack of Western aid and has suffered a failure in its counteroffensive. The Russian army, on the other hand, has built up its strength through booming war production. President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for arms supplies to be a priority, but Ukraine is still facing challenges with the U.S. Congress blocking a $60 billion aid package. The overall picture remains bleak for Ukraine, with Russia continuing to attack in the east and Ukraine's economy suffering due to a border blockade by Polish farmers. Unexploded World War II bomb found in a garden in England. CNN. An unexploded bomb from World War II has been detonated at sea after being found in a garden in the English city of Plymouth. Parts of the city were cordoned off to enable bomb disposal experts to remove the device, affecting up to 10,000 people. The decision to detonate the bomb at sea was made after considering all options. The bomb was loaded onto a lorry and taken to a boat, which then detonated the bomb safely. Local leaders praised the bomb experts for their bravery and thanked the community for their support. Ukraine claims it shot down a Ki-50 Russian spy plane again. Yahoo! Ukraine's Air Force has shot down another Russian A-50 spy plane, according to the country's military. The aircraft is a key enabler for Russian operations over Ukraine, providing airborne early warning of threats as well as command and control functionality, according to UK intelligence. Charles V. Hamilton, scholar who helped define Black Power, dies at 94. Washington Post. Charles V. Hamilton, a self-described academic activist of the Black Power movement whose landmark 1967 manifesto with student organizer Stokely Carmichael reframed the civil rights struggle by calling on Black people to undermine America's institutional racism on their own terms, has died in Chicago at 94. Ukraine downs 12 drones, 2 missiles over southern oblasts. Yahoo! Russian forces launched drone attacks on Ukraine's southern oblasts, targeting the regions of Mykolaiv, Kirovohrad, and Odessa. At least 12 drones were shot down, but one crashed into a residential building in Odessa, causing a fire and killing one person. This marks the second instance of drone strikes on the city within a 24-hour period. The attacks come as drone attacks have become a daily occurrence in Ukraine, with 23 drones shot down overnight on February 23. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.